Hey guys, it's Lance of Max Sound Solutions, and today we're doing a little product review. UPerfect sent this 23.8-inch monitor over for me to do a review on, and it's going to be an honest review even though I did get it for free. I want to say that up front. I already have their 16-inch OLED, which is 120 hertz, and I love that. And they sent me over a touch monitor, and I have to say that's pretty cool too, but this one is even bigger. This is 23.8 inches. It's an IPS panel, 1440p, supports up to 180 hertz refresh rate, and it's super thin. You can put it on a Vesa mount, or you can use the kickstand that's built into the screen. And this is about as big as a portable monitor you would want. It's got an audio output jack, so you can connect it to speakers if you don't have your Bluetooth headphones, and it's great because the internal speakers, well, while they'll work in a pinch, they are not great. And you want to make sure you select the 1440p 180 hertz, and don't let the price scare you because you can get $50 off with my coupon code down in the video description. And you can click the link above to go to their site and check out this monitor and their other monitors, and my discount code applies to all monitors above $300. And Apple's monitors only go up to 60 hertz, so you do not get that buttery smoothness that you get with 120 hertz and above. But I have also found a few things about that we need to address. So let's check it out. So I've got it connected to my M4 base model Mac Mini, and I gotta say, the colors look really good right out of the box, whereas the other monitors I have from UPerfect, I really had to tweak the colors a lot. And here I've got it connected to my iPad Pro, but with iPad OS, you only get 60 hertz on the external monitor, which sucks, Apple. They need to change that. But again, the colors look great. And the viewing angle is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but overall, I'm very happy with the picture quality, and it works as a portable television. You can connect an Apple TV or Fire Stick. Thanks to the fact that it's got a regular sized HDMI input, supports up to 144 hertz. So just for fun, because it's a portable monitor, I wanted to make it completely portable. So I used my Ojai power bank to power the monitor, and surprisingly enough, the iPad was also sipping power from the power bank. So this is very cool, and I tested this for about 2 hours. I was able to run this big monitor with this power bank. So that's something to keep in mind, that you can literally have a portable setup with this portable monitor and an iPad or a MacBook. Unfortunately, you can't just run it with one USB-C cable. You need two, one for power and one to the computer. But don't cry over it. And don't be fooled by the HDR setting in the menus, because it is not HDR. It just pumps up the contrast. So let's talk about gaming. Old BioShock, which is one of my favorite games of all time, plays so well and looks great on this monitor. This is the remastered version, and while the remastered version does have some issues, it's not the monitor's fault, it's the programming of the game. But overall, it seems to work really well, and I'm getting above 100 frames per second with my Mac Mini at 1440p, all the highest settings. And you want to try and match the frame rate to the refresh rate. So I set the monitor to 120 hertz for my Mac Mini to get 180 frames per second. The base model, that's just not going to happen with most games. But like BioShock, I'm getting 120 FPS, which I didn't used to get on my old Mac Pro. So now we're going to bring in the big guns, and this is the RX 6900 XT in my Mac Pro 2019. It's a 16 core with 96 gigs of RAM, and I've locked it at 180 frames per second. So I have VSync on, and the monitor supports FreeSync, and the gameplay is just so frickin' smooth. This is the first time I've been locked in at 180 frames per second, and while the frame rate will go higher than this, really better off just locking it in at 180 to get super smooth gameplay without any screen tearing or stuttering. So the RX 6900 XT at 2K is working amazingly well with this monitor and Doom Eternal. Of course, I'm running Windows 11. And unfortunately, my stats in the upper left-hand corner there should be 2 GPUs. It's showing the stats for my second GPU, which I'm not currently using. It's an RX 7900 XTX, and we'll get to that one in a minute, which was supplied to me by Nimbus Cybertech. Check those guys out if you're looking for a new GPU. So I fixed the stats on the monitor here. So you can see I've got 2 GPUs. One's the RX 6900 XT, and the other one's the RX 7900 XTX. But I'm now connected to a different monitor, and that's why it says 120 frames per second. But we were getting 180 with the RX 6900 XT and the UPerfect monitor. And now we're going to switch over to my 7900 XTX, which is also installed in my 2019 Mac Pro. I got a video on that. You can watch that in the link above. It barely fits. It actually really doesn't fit, but I squeezed it in anyway, and I got it working. And look at this frame rate now, 450 frames per second. So I could get an even faster monitor to work with this, but you know, there's some point of no return here, I believe. So here I'm doing the Blur Busters motion test, and I've slowed it way down. I recorded it at a fast frame rate, and then I slowed it down. And you can see how much smoother the 180 FPS is compared to 45 and even compared to 90. So imagine 60 hertz, 60 frames per second, which is what Apple's displays are set to and cannot go above. And when I finally bought a non-Apple wireless mouse with 2.4 gigahertz connection, which is super fast compared to Bluetooth, I was blown away at how smooth everything was on the screen. But you have to have that fast refresh rate as well to really see the difference. And the Razer mouse has a polling rate of 1000 hertz compared to the 125 of the Apple mouse and trackpad, because they're Bluetooth and this is using the 2.4 gigahertz with a dedicated dongle. The smoothness of moving things like windows around in the Finder is night and day. And I can just hear those PC comments coming in.
Laugh out loud, Apple fanboy finally used a gaming mouse.
So as an example, I'm moving this folder around, and this is 60 frames per second, this video. So you can see it's not silky smooth. It's getting like jaggies as I move it around, right? But when this is on the 180 hertz display, which I cannot capture that in video, that's why I'm using the Blur Busters test to show you. It is silky smooth with the Razer gaming mouse and this UPerfect 180 hertz monitor. So it's updating the location of your mouse cursor many more times as you move it than it does with the Apple mouse. Being an Apple user and being locked at 60 hertz for most of my life, I was like, wow, this is so much smoother and so much nicer. I still love the Magic Trackpad and use it every day, and I don't like using a mouse. But when it comes to gaming, that's when I use the mouse. Why doesn't Apple up their game on their monitors and their input devices? And once I got used to high refresh rate monitors, I'm like, I never want to go back to 60 hertz. Apple needs to come out with a 5K ProMotion display with peripherals to match. And we'll just talk about the menu system for a little bit. And first, I thought I'd just show you how to change the language because mine booted up with Chinese. So you just go to the on-screen display menu and you go to the top and you click once on the little jog wheel on the side there, and you can change it to your preferred language. And I like the menu buttons way better on this display than the other two, because the other two are just individual buttons. This one has the little button/jog wheel and the power button, which acts as an escape button as well, or a back button. And this monitor, even though it has an HDR setting, just stay away from that. It is not true HDR. This monitor only goes up to 400 nits, and you need to get above 600 nits to be able to do real HDR. So it's more of a contrast brightness manipulator. It is not true HDR. So stay away, turn it off. Don't have it in auto. And I like to set the brightness to 100% and the contrast to around 50-60. And that's it. I didn't need to change the colors at all, but you can if you want to tweak it further. And while the display only has 400 nits peak brightness, I found it bright enough to use it in bright daylight, as you can see here. And I got my first Vesa stand from Amazon, link in the video description, and here is the UPerfect monitor floating in the air. God, I love that. It's such a clean setup. All my wires are tucked through the arm and you can pull it closer to you. You can rotate the screen, and I got my cable management together so it's nice and clean. And I got these little adapters so that you can get the wires to not be sticking straight out of the monitor. It's pretty sweet. You can buy a cheaper monitor, that's for sure, but it's not going to have the lightweight portability of this monitor. And that's really the whole point. It's a 180 hertz IPS panel gaming monitor for on the go. If you want to go on a trip or you want a portable TV, as I showed, you can run it off a power brick if you want. You can't do that with a regular monitor. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, give me that thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next Max Sound Solutions video.
Perfect.